Ja, mein Name ist Martin.
Hello, my name is Martin. I've prepared a mini construction site here. Here we have a small gully that can no longer cope with the amount of water and dirt that occurs here, and I have therefore decided to solve the task by installing some channels with a larger trash box. However, as we will see in a moment, I've discovered that one trash box is not enough, so I'm going to install two of them. I have two trash boxes, so I will also need two channels, one in this direction and one in that direction. And I think that it will be extremely interesting to see how these channels are professionally installed. Just watch how it's done. In order to get myself organized, I prepared a small sketch in which the channels are positioned. The items marked in red are the branches. You can also see the trash boxes that are going to be connected. The pipe comes in here, and from there we will go out and connect one drain to another. Our tools will be the normal tools that a landscape gardener needs: a spirit level, a hammer and a saw. First I will mark out the direction. In other words, we will use string to mark a line from here that shows us the height and direction. Of course, it is extremely important for us to plan what goes where and how high it is, and then we carry on from there. Now the string is in place and I need to check whether the height is also correct. There is only half a centimeter beneath the string and the adjacent paving, so I'll go a little lower. This is to ensure that proper drainage will take place. I can always put the block back in again later. This definitely puts me on the safe side and ensures that the water will flow in properly. The string is now at the correct height and in the right direction. And we have also determined the installation position. I like to use the Recifix Pro channel because it is extremely stable and light, which makes my life easier because I'll have to pick it up, install and remove this complicated system of connections several times. Everything must be connected temporarily and I'll probably have to pick it up at least 5 times. Another major advantage is that it is 16 centimeters wide and will be an exact fit for the channel of blocks that I have installed here. And I can fit it without having to cut or snap anything off. We can now insert the box here, temporarily on sand. We need a little more sand because this is where it's going to sit. So now I put sand into the area where the trash box is going to be installed, so that I can temporarily position it. We can still move it forwards and backwards a little. The further back it is, the better it'll be. I can simply remove the sand afterwards and replace it with concrete. But in order to position the pipe exactly where I want it, it is useful to have the trash box in the right position beforehand. I've now measured the height of the trash box and the distance from the string to the sand, and I'm now checking whether it will fit. Yes, it will. The height is correct. This is where it will sit afterwards. I will knock it in with the hammer and it will then work. Then I will look at how to make the PVC connections and what to do with the bands and particularly the branches. Connecting them properly with the many small parts that I have to cut to the correct size will also be tricky. It's important for the sockets of the branches to be on top at this stage. One pipe should always slide into the other so that the flow of water is not impeded. I'll take the rubber seals out for the time being, because I'm only laying the system temporarily in order to see where everything must go. This means that the first branch must go here and the band must be connected here. Next branch would have to go there in order to accommodate this. Okay, but one branch is still missing. It has to be laid here between them. And then I have to measure, cut and fit the pieces. The temporary pipe installation is complete. The pipe has been temporarily laid in sand so that all of the connections could be made and the pipes cut to the right lengths. Now comes the next step, which involves making the openings and the trash boxes with the drill. We have made the connection here temporarily, meaning that we have only put it loosely in place and the trash box can be taken out again. We will then make the opening with the drill bit and position the channel in this direction. It only takes a second. The trickiest things are the items that are underground, because they are no longer visible afterwards. The connection has been made. We have now cut the opening. Of course, we could have made them here or at the other side, whichever way was best. And with Recifix Pro we can even go directly to the channel, from below, from the side if necessary, or above the end caps as is the case with shallow installation depths, and there we have the pre-shaped cutout. Now we can continue constructing the channel. Now the final installation of the connecting pipes takes place. The rubber seal must be correctly inserted all the way around, otherwise it won't work. A guide is even provided for doing this. And we have laid out our PVC pipes so that each one can now be inserted into the other. In order to minimize the amount of mess, the lubricant is applied around the outside and spread around a little. The more, the merrier. How do I work out whether it's far enough in and whether it's properly fitted? There are two options. Of course, I can note how far it has to be pushed in, and I could make a mark at the other side. I will use the mark straight away because it's extremely important, which is not a difficulty with this small piece. As you can see, it's extremely tight. I will use the spade, position it here at the bottom at an angle and lift carefully. Now, the bottom channel pipe is in place. Now that it has started to rain, we can see immediately whether the water actually drains. We still don't have a concrete base. In goes some concrete. Now we need to level it out to the correct height with a trowel. I've already measured it approximately. Too much is better than not enough. 46, that's about right. Level out with a trowel, adjust the height a little, and the best thing is that the trash box isn't very heavy, meaning that I can position it 3 or 4 times. That's not so bad. Now we have the right height. Now we fill in with concrete at both sides. The concrete provides extra stability. Always at both sides. Now we'll compress it a little at the bottom. Just align it a couple of times. Perfect. Okay, the preparation work is complete. We now come to installing the channel, and it is great that everything is pre-assembled. I can take it like this, position it, align it and install it at the correct height. The only object I need is a piece of timber. The timber helps to evenly distribute the force that I apply when knocking in the channel at the front and rear ends. So, we are at the correct height. Any inaccuracies can be compensated for when I put in the concrete at the sides. It is important for the height to be correct. I can correct the rest somewhat using the back support. This means that we have to go a little deeper in this area. I will go just beneath the string. It's now clear of the string and the first running meter is in position. I can place the next channel here, on an appropriate surface. I have the starting height, I can simply check the final height. Time and time again, I find that the weight is fantastic. I can work here without putting strain on my back. And even if the height is not correct, as is the case here, I simply lift the channel out again, put some concrete beneath it and level it out again. We also have to keep an eye on the direction of flow, because the channels can have slightly different shapes. This is a tongue and groove system. We will now fit a band that is automatically correct, put on the timber and adjust the height by knocking the channel in carefully. And the next meter is in place. Before I install the final meter, I need to think. Saw off the tongs here at the front so that the end cap will have a flush connection. The end cap has clips on the front that can engage here at the rear. In any case, it will be finished off properly at the end. I'll use my saw to do this. You could say that my construction site is almost complete. The channel has been laid and the concrete has been put in. Now, care must be taken to ensure that the surrounding blocks bond with the concrete and that the surface is 5 mm above the channel so that it is held securely in place without pressure and the water runs properly into the channel without gathering in front of it. I will stand the first block on its end. It will be laid down properly afterwards. It is merely maintaining the distance to the second block. The second block is placed here and immediately adjusted to the correct height using a rubber mallet. This means 5 mm above the string and as close to the natural stone as possible at the back end. As you can see, we are already creating somewhat of a downslope, which is exactly what is needed. The water should be able to flow easily into the channel and not remain on the surface. The better the subsurface preparation, the easier the work. Go over it again with a trowel. The concrete can be compressed by about 1 centimeter. The final sprint. We've done it! We have laid the channel and positioned the blocks. We did all of that yesterday. The concrete has hardened and now we still complete the rest of the work, it is to finish off the edges. We still need to sweep in sand at the front, wash it in and compact it, and then the construction site will then be finished off. And we finished on schedule. Everything went well. Brushing and washing in are important, so that the joints are properly filled, and washing in with water tightens the joint. This makes the joint simply more stable and durable. After having installed the Recifix Pro channel several times, I know that we can use the compactor right next to it. The material from which this channel is made is ultra flexible and will not break or crack. So my construction site is finished. I'm glad that I used the Recifix Pro channel. It was really extremely easy to use. Here are the connections using the tongue and groove system. Here I could work at 90 degrees, just cut out, and the next connection could be made at a 90 degrees angle. There is already a prefabricated opening at the bottom. All I need to do is cut it out with a hole drill. Installation is complete. It is unbreakable, dimensionally stable and color fast. It was fun working with you. Bye, Martin. It's running well.